Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, July 21st, 2017. It is a nice summer day. It is 76 degrees now, and it may get close to 90 today. It is not raining, so that's good news in itself right there. Today we're going to be discussing a lot about eBay customer service. I really want to get into that, and I want to relate some experiences I've had with eBay customer service this week. I think you'll find it very interesting and enlightening. I also want to talk about double dipping. Okay, I'll explain more about that as we go along, as well as we're going to review your comments and concerns from last week's video. So let's just jump right into it, and let's get started right now with your comments from last week's video. On customer service, Mr. Short Pants wrote, "My problem is that 50% of all customer service reps give the wrong answer to my problem. I have to call back a second time to get a rep who knows the correct solution. Today, an eBay customer service rep incorrectly told me that mega sellers with 100,000 or more positive feedbacks can list anything they want, even if it's counterfeit, and eBay will not remove it. eBay gave me a suspension for listing a genuine item that they thought wasn't authentic. A previous rep told me it was okay to list it. Today's first rep said I could list it with better pictures and a COA. The second rep said I should not list it ever again after taking new pictures. eBay is a mess." And as I said, as soon as I'm done with these comments, we're going to get into a customer service discussion that actually happened to me, and I think you guys will learn a lot from this. On buyer abuse, Mark Duchamp wrote, "Just got a not as described return. The item sent was exactly shown in the listing. I can only block the guy who bought it and report him as abusing the system. But I refunded him with the shipping because dealing with eBay will cause more trouble than not. Having little faith in eBay dealing with the seller justly." This is what I've been telling you guys for the last few weeks about. I have two people that opened return cases against me saying not as described when it was exactly as described. The important thing, in my case anyway, is this is something that rarely happens to me. In fact, it's the first time it's happened and as long as I can remember. But these two cases are still causing me issues a month and a half later, and this is where the customer service discussion is going to come into play later. So stick with me on this, all right? More about buyer abuse. Smiley the Feral Cat wrote, "I have blocked a few buyers for various reasons. They get quite nasty when some of them attempt to make another purchase and learn they are blocked. I've had several cases over the years whereby I blocked a buyer only to have them use another account, spouse, friend, second eBay account, etc., to make the purchase. How would you go about combating this obvious loophole? By the way, Joe, I have been a long-time subscriber and have benefited greatly from your Friday night shows. Thanks." That is a very good question and a point to bring up. I don't block people when they return something, but I will block somebody if they attempt to defraud me, like the two people I told you about who claimed not as described when the item really was exactly as described. Someone like that I will block. Or, of course, if someone doesn't pay, like in the old days when I had auctions. I would say about 7 years ago, I listed an item and somebody won the item and refused to pay me because I did not take PayPal. During the early days, I simply did not take PayPal because the company was run in a different way than it's run today. But the listings clearly said no PayPal accepted and ProPay was accepted, which was an eBay sanctioned payment system back then. Anyway, this guy wins the item and he refuses to pay because I don't take PayPal. So he gets an unpaid item strike and I blocked him. Now keep in mind, this is 7 years ago. So about 4 years ago I started taking PayPal. Do you know the same guy messages me and says, "Listen, I bought one of your items 7 years ago and I didn't pay you because you didn't take PayPal and I didn't think ProPay was safe. However, now I see you do take PayPal, and I'm trying to buy this item, and I can't because you have blocked me. I want you to unblock me. So me, being the man of principle that I am, I said, no, I'm not going to unblock you. I said, it clearly said no PayPal 7 years ago. You did not read. You caused me grief. You're blocked. He then went ahead and created a guest account specifically to buy my item. And of course, he paid right away. Now that technically is a violation of eBay procedure, starting a second account to circumvent being blocked on your original account. But I didn't pursue it because he didn't cause me any grief the second time. He paid for the item, and that was that. But that is really a little story to answer this person's question, that there's really nothing you can do about it unless when they create the second account, they cause you some kind of grief. Then eBay can go back in and see if the two accounts are connected in any way. So I hope that answers your question there. On cases, Kyle Johnson wrote, so glad you made this video. I had the same thing happen when eBay told me on the phone that a customer was wrong and would close the case in my favor. As soon as I hung up, I got a message in my eBay saying the case was closed in favor of the buyer. They refused to remove it even after I spoke with the supervisor. eBay has recently been doing lots of anti-seller things like this, and I have spent hours on the phone with them trying to get them resolved. Their customer support is going downhill fast, and they are very buyer-centric, more now than ever. I will address this concern shortly when I talk about my eBay customer service story, and it is crazy, and I think you're going to enjoy it. On returns, Don Abraham wrote, eBay makes it way too easy for buyers to return items under items marked not as described. It's not even worth my time to fight it. I already know I'm probably not going to win, so I just give them their money back. I also want to keep 100 positive score, 100%. I was once top rated and fought a case where the customer was clearly in the wrong, and that $25 item made me lose top rated for getting a case. eBay needs to make changes to how easily available they make it for buyers to make it to return items on a seller's dime. Also, why does eBay let me provide a restocking fee if I'm never able to receive it? Lastly, on returns, Two Shoobs wrote, I recently had a buyer purchase a suit. They received the item and claimed it was not as described and asked to return it. I accepted the return. The buyer shipped back an old coat instead. eBay sided with the buyer. I had to refund him. He has the item and the money back. Though I've had my share of returns, guys, over my 18-year eBay career, I have never had anybody return something that wasn't the exact item that I sent them, with the exception of a few people who sent back items that were broken because they tried to force them into place, like putting a square peg in a round hole type of thing. But anyway, that covers it for your comments on last week's video. I will now take my first ceremonial drink. Yeah. Now let us get started with my eBay customer service discussion, and this is something that's going to interest every one of you guys out there. I'm going to combine the customer service discussion with the double dipping topic because they actually fit into one. As the story will progress, you'll understand more. So here's what's going on. Over the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've been telling you about 2 buyers who abused the returns process. They filed a snag case against me when they, in fact, purchased the wrong size. They did this so they would not have to pay the shipping back. So, you know how I am. I'm not standing for that. I fought both cases. In the comments I just read, somebody said they don't bother to fight the cases and that you're going to lose. And you know something? There's a good chance you will lose. But I'm a person who believes in standing up for what's right. You know me, guys. You know me well. I'm a man of principle. I'm like a dog with a bone. I won't let go. So to rehash, as I said, 2 people had opened cases against me, not as described, and they lied. There's no other way to put it. So before I contacted eBay, I contacted these buyers and I drew them out in conversation and got them to admit that they purchased the wrong size. Once I had everything in print through eBay messages, then I called eBay customer service. And it would sound like a slam dunk, wouldn't it? Well, no. Because like some of you guys have experienced, there are very good customer service agents and there are very bad ones. All right? So the first item that the guy bought from me, I contacted customer service on, and what they said was, yes, Joe, we see he's abusing the policy. We are going to close the case out in your favor and make him return the items on his dime. Now, they did, in fact, make him return the items on his dime, and I only got the items back just the other day. However, according to PayPal, and I'll tell you why PayPal is involved in this, eBay did not properly close out the case. Because when I got the items back, he paid to send them back. Usually, you can go into the case and you can close out and just hit refund, and the guy gets his money back. There was no way to do that. There was no link to give this guy his money back, or cancel the sale or anything, and I've never experienced that. So eBay told me I had to go call PayPal and contact them. So I went onto my PayPal account, found the transaction, and I could not refund him through PayPal either because there was a hold on my PayPal money for that particular transaction. So I had to call PayPal, and I said, listen, I want to give this guy his money back, and I'm not able to do it. What's the problem? And they looked it up and they said, the problem is on eBay's side. It seems the case was opened against you, and they never properly closed it out. That's why you're not able to give him the money back. But if you want, I can give him the money back right now. I'll do it for you manually. I said, sure, give him his money back. And they did. You would think that was the end of the story. No. The very next day, I get an email from eBay saying, we have taken $100 from your account and we have returned it to the buyer. I'm like, what? You took money from my account? I gave the guy his money back yesterday. So now this guy has double the money back from my PayPal and from eBay. I called eBay customer service, got a representative in the United States, explained the whole thing. She looks at the case and says, Joe, everything you're telling me is true. This should never have happened. Somebody didn't do their job on our end, meaning they didn't close the case out properly. So what she did was she kicked it upstairs to, I'm not sure what the particular department is, let's just say it's resolutions, and they came back to me and said, we will reverse our original decision as far as taking the money is concerned, and we will give you a refund within 48 hours. So let's hope I get the refund. The point about this particular story is, guys, be very careful. This has never happened to me in my 18 years on eBay, that they double dip me like this. Usually I can do a return very easily through the eBay returns process, but somebody in customer service screwed up royally on this. So please be careful, okay? Now that's story number one. That's actually what happened second. There was another story that happened earlier this week that I want to relate to you now, totally unrelated to that. So I had a buyer contact me who had bought some stuff from me, who loved them, and he said, Joe, I just left you positive feedback, and I made a mistake with the stars. I left you 5 stars in the first 3 categories, but not in the 4th category. Is there any way I can revise that? Now, I've never had that happen to me. Never once. So I called eBay customer service. I got a very knowledgeable representative, explained the situation. He checked into it, and he said, Joe, I'm sorry. At this time, there is no way for a buyer to revise his stars and give you the 5 stars. He can only revise feedback. If he left you negative, he can make it a positive, but he left you positive, so there's really nothing I can do. But I could tell by the way this man was talking, that he was experienced, he was knowledgeable, and he was interested in trying to help me. So for the hell of it, I said to him, you know, since I have you on the phone, do you mind if I tell you a story as to what happened to me the last couple of weeks? So he said, go right ahead. I'll be happy to listen. So I told him the story about the other person who filed a snag case against me. Not the one I'm talking about now. Not the one I'm talking about with the $100 return. Another one. So I explained how this person lied just so they would have to not pay the shipping back, and how I drew them out in conversation, and it clearly says that she made a mistake. I then told him that although they said they would find in my favor, they're charging me with a defect, and I now have a defect for a case closed without seller resolution. So he says to me, Joe, based on what you're telling me, that doesn't sound right. Let me look into the case for you right now. Can I put you on hold? I said, sure. So he puts me on hold, comes back 2 or 3 minutes later and says, Joe, I just read the conversation between you and the buyer. Everything you have told me is true. This case should never have been logged against you. Somebody in eBay customer service didn't do their job correctly, and I'm going to reverse it for you right now. I am removing that defect. I was like, yeah! Oh, yeah! I said, this is great news. I said, I have to tell you, I have called 4 times on this particular case, and I have gotten stung 4 times. You're the first person that's actually looking at it and understanding it from my point of view. He said, Joe, I have to be honest with you. Although most of our representatives are well trained, we do have quite a few that do not have the experience. I said, man, I am so glad I found you. You are like a diamond in the rough. By the way, I said, since you've been so helpful, do you mind if I tell you one more story? He says, go ahead. So I related to him the story that just before Memorial Day, I had a buyer buy an item from me and ask me to hold it for 3 or 4 days because he was going away for the Memorial Day weekend. I agreed to do that. I sent them the item, and I got a ding for shipping time. eBay slapped me with a ding because I was offering this customer good customer service and shipping the item when he requested. I had called in about this to eBay in the past, and they refused to remove the defect. So this agent said, let me check this case for you. He looked it up, and he said, Joe, once again, you're 100% right. When a buyer asks you to hold an item for a couple of days because he's going away, that should not be held against you, and I'm removing that defect for you now too. I was like, oh my God. I mean, I danced. I put the phone down and I danced like I'm doing now. I said, man, I wish every single eBay customer service agent was trained like you. Because, sir, you are the god of eBay customer service agents. So, guys, that's my little customer service story for the week. I hope you found it interesting. The moral of the story is there are quite a few untrained agents running around out there. So you may have to call numerous times. Don't give up, all right? I don't give up. Some of you guys, you know, people open snag cases against you and you accept them because you don't want to fight. And hey, if you don't want to fight, that's your business. I can't tell you what to do. But I stand up for what's right, and Joey has won. I'm going to scream that right now. Joey has won! Only on the Crazy New York Driver Show. One more topic before I let you go, guys. I don't want to keep you too long again. Next week is eBay Open in Vegas, and I will be there, and I sure hope I see a lot of you guys there. For those of you guys who do come, if you see me there, come on up and say hi. I can't approach you because I don't know what you look like, but you know what I look like, so come on up and say hi. Even if you see me with a gang of other people, come up anyway, okay? It's the only time I'm going to be out west all year. Me being in Vegas next week means I will not be here next Friday. There will be no Crazy New York Driver Show next Friday night, guys. However, I will be putting up a nice in-depth video about what happens at eBay Open. I'll probably do 2 or 3 videos instead of one really long one. And I have some special good news. This is really good news. eBay has invited me to live stream the Crazy New York Driver Show from the event in their studio using their equipment. This is huge. This is huge to be invited like this. Thank you for inviting me. My live stream will be Wednesday at 2 o'clock Western Time, 5 o'clock right here Eastern Time. Live stream of the Crazy New York Driver Show. It will be for 20 minutes only, okay? And I will be talking about eBay Open. I may or may not have somebody with me, I don't know yet. But hopefully, guys, hopefully a lot of you guys will come. Before I do the quick rehash, please allow me to take a drink. Okay, guys, quick rehash before I let you go. I would like to hear your comments on eBay customer service. A few of you guys wrote in last week. I'd like to hear more. If you encounter an agent that doesn't know what they're doing, don't give up. Wait a day or 2 and call back. You saw what happened with me. I mean, this was great. This worked out really good for me. If you have any questions about any other eBay issues, you're more than free to comment them. Remember, there will be no Crazy New York Driver Show next Friday night. I will be out of town for the whole week. Guys, I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thanks for watching. Please keep in mind, I come out here every week. I make these videos to try and help you be successful on eBay. I sure hope it's working. If you found this video helpful, please leave me a thumbs up. It shows me that I'm doing the right thing and I'm helping you guys, and that's what I love, okay? For those of you guys who are coming to eBay Open, please look for me. I'll be there, all right? And maybe, hey, those of you guys who do show up, if you want to be in a Crazy New York Driver clip for the video that I'm making, you're more than welcome. You can be in the Crazy New York Driver Show. It'll be great. It'll be fun. It's great to see fellow sellers one-on-one that you hardly ever get to see. Keep in mind, guys, I am a seller friend, not a seller critic or skeptic of any kind. I sure hope you found this video helpful. Go out there, make it a good day, make some sales, and peace! Yeah!